Okay, so I've gotten quite a bit done with Ganache and Truffle and Metamask. So I'd like to talk about that. First of all, I did get Ganache working correctly. I basically had to make sure that it started, that it was not used and employed. It could have been a conflict there. But now, so if you have a problem, make sure that nothing's running, and then restart Ganache. So as you can see, we have our account, blocks, transactions, contracts. Now this is the new thing, because remember I had trouble adding my contract to the workspace, but I was able to do it. And it's saying, this is interesting, it's saying that it's not deployed, but transactions, migrations is. So let's see what happens. I don't know if you can deploy contracts from here. I am going to try and see what happens. So let's go to our, it's not the right one. Yeah, this is the right one. So we're going to try, I'm pretty sure it is deployed, because you can see it's there. I'm not sure why it's not picking it up in this workspace. Let's get out and try deploying it again. I think we just gotta go Control C on here. And it's saying everything's up to date. So that is interesting. Let's see something else. Let's see if we can switch to Sticky Boat. See, now it's working great. So there was clearly so now it's saying nothing's deployed. Let's try it here. See what happens. And now that looks a lot better. And we're gonna go into now what I may have to do is, it may not like MetaMask. Is MetaMask happy still? Yeah, I'm gonna have to get out of MetaMask, and I will talk about that. I don't know if you can see it. So it's on test 2. That's good. Now, one thing is, I had to look. It's when I deployed the Ganache, it said that the if you look at the logs here, it said that the network ID was 1557. In MetaMask, when I tried to connect to it, it said, oh no, it's 1337. So I gave it 1337. It was happy. Now, in order to, the only way I found to be able to switch to a different network is I basically had to turn it off and turn it back on. And then what happened is when I went to do it, you can restore it, and I don't know if you can see this. It'll ask you for a seed. So all I had to do to get into this Connect is go to Ganache, go to Accounts, and you'll see the series of words that you need for this Ganache network. And I put it in. I gave it a very simple password, since there's no real stuff in there. There's nothing to hack. Can't hack that which does not exist. So now I don't know if you can see this, probably not, but my MetaMask is showing the account. You can see now the accounts. When you click on the upper right where they list the accounts, you can see the accounts that were created by Ganache. And so now this is great. You can see all your transactions. You could, once you get into Truffle console, you can go through and interact with your, let me go back and make sure I remember the commands. So interacting, yeah. And basically what's nice is you interact in the console the same way you would interact in JavaScript. So it kind of sets you up for doing your distributed DApps just by getting used to doing this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type instance, and you can see all the examples. You can do a transaction, very simple, and we looked at that last night, but this is interesting. You can look at your balance directly from console like this. You first have to get it, and then there was another command, two numbers. So you're basically interacting with the smart contract. And this is pretty much how you would do it in your DApp, which we need to, I think that's something we need to get to. And there you go, you can see your balance now. Let's look at Ganache and see. So you can see your transactions, your contract call, and it showed the migration. And if you do it, any of the it will show them. You can see your accounts, you can see the blocks, you can see the contracts now. Here, I don't know if it shows your storage. It shows the address, the address of the contract, the creation transaction. So it gives you a lot of information about your contract. And so this is very nice. Once you get it going, it's very nice to work with. The fact that it works easily with MetaMask. I think if you're going to be working with the Ethereum, the Solidity language, I think this setup with Truffle and Ganache, and then have your favorite editor, or using Remix, will give you a nice setup to do your work. I like how clean and how much information is provided without having to do any fancy setup. So what there were a few things that had to overcome. You have to make sure you set everything up with the right network ID, the right port for the server, and stuff like that. You have to be aware of conflicts, but you can see everything. You can use MetaMask. Now, one thing I discovered, I did a little research on faucets for Ethereum. So, well, why can't I just fill my Ethereum, my MetaMask with fake Ethereum that just for testing purposes? Well, what's interesting is there was one thing I downloaded that was a Node.js application. I could not get that puppy to build. And then I looked at some others. You can actually request Ethereum from the Ethereum testnet. I don't know if it's going to work. We'll find out if it ever shows up. The other thing is there are sites, believe it or not, that if you do certain things, they will pay you in Ethereum. So that's something to look at. So you have some nice development options. I think I'm liking this Truffle and Ganache. I like how clean it is. I like how much it shows you. And like Remix, it creates nice little accounts. It makes it very easy to hook those accounts up to your to MetaMask, so you can play with that. It shows you logs here. Here is send transaction. Let's see. Does it actually show you it just says that you sent a transaction. So it shows you quite a bit. It lets you set up different workspaces. This is something not in Remix. So let's say you want to separate, you're working on one set of smart contracts versus another. You can do that very easily. One thing I'm curious is how debugging works. So upon debugging your contracts. So it has an integrated debugger. So you can run a debug tool. Now I'm going to have to look into this a little more, and that might be another topic for that's going to be a topic for a separate video. We did see that you can debug contracts in Remix. So there is, let's see, Truffle associated to allowing you to interrupt, test, to debug specific operations. So there's a lot here that I have to have a look at, and then I can present it. But anyway, what we see here is that there are some really nice options for working in Solidity, some nice tools, and to make make it easy. One thing also with the Truffle, they have the Truffle team, so you can, if you're working in a professional environment or with a bunch of other developers, you can work together. I think still for any, most professional software environments, what I've worked on in recent years, we've used GitHub or GitLab and so developers are very familiar with that. I don't think Truffle teams, let's see, Truffle teams, I'm looking it up now here. So it's DApp tracking, which that's a separate topic. Zero config continuous integration. I think I mentioned that the other night, something like Jenkins in the Java world, automatic deployments, smart contract management. So this is a very nice tool. So anyway, hopefully this has been helpful to you. And if it has, please give a like, please subscribe, please ring the bell to get notifications, and please tell your friends. And I will talk to you next time. Take care.